You've got 4 minutes to pitch your business to us. Okay. My fellow judges, Lucas, you have got Martine over on the left. She's the lady that you most have to convince.
Yeah. I'm a passionate farmer. I'm still building up my sheep. So my end goal is actually to be a commercial sheep farmer.
South Africa ikhiqiza u85% owenyama. Bese kuthiwa go 15% wenye waleyo nyama siwuthola kulawo mazwe lawa ale ngaphandle. Uyabona ke, livestock is the largest sector ku agriculture. However, local demands of fresh meat outstrips production. Ukoketso omunye kwabosomabhizinisi abasebenza ngokukhulu ukuzimisela kuona lo mkhakha wenza show ukuthi ke mihla namalanga sithola inyama yengulube efresh ezohlala igcwalise izisu zethu. Namhlanje making moves ichitha usuku eLekung Meat Primary Produce elapha eMagaliesburg. Lapho khona sithole ulwazi olunzulu kakhulu uma kuza kwezemfuyo eyezingulube.
Diseradi kaofela tse leng mo diadisa so they're pregnant.
Okay. Sithe uma suka lapho sashaya i-short left saya e-Israel ukuyohlangana nomndeni nabangani bakhe uKoketso ukuze simazi kabanzi.
She knows everything. You can't tell her anything.
Ngemva kwaloko uKoketso uvakashele e-studio sethu lapho khona abe khona nodliwano ndlebe nathi ngokusitshela ukuthi imaphi yamaqhinga nawo wokukhulisa ibhizinisi lakhe.
They are focused. I'll tell you why. I'm Koketso Moloko, the managing director of Lekung Meat. We breed pigs and sheep, and we focus on producing quality pork and mutton products for the South African market.
Namhlanje ngise Northwest eduzane naseMagaliesburg. Kula khona ngizohlangana nentokazi ewusomabhizinisi. Uyabona ke le ntokazi lena ingilomkhakha lona ke wezamaplazi. Ikakhulukazi ke yena unezingulube eziningi kakhulu. Ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi ingulube zakhe uzithola kuphi. Futhi ke uphinde azenze kanjani ke ukuthi zimletheleke imali. Hlala la uhleli khona sike sizwe ukuthi usomabhizinisi wethu ibhizinisi lakhe lisebenza kanjani. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Fine, thanks, and you?
I'm good. I'm good. Are you still in school?
Yeah. Get my Bcom honors.
And you're doing your honors?
Yeah.
The transition you already now so living to Osebizango Plasing, owner plus. How did that come about?
I mean, I can only office job and Papa and I family. So have it so then we can go over everything more than farm.
You know, it's quite rare to find young people these days wanting to take over family business.
Who went the next time as Mutoka some family, but Salara Tomakadi Kulubeka 2009, and Yangi Villa and I live in Gu. Dinguta Salara Tomagatoneka 2013. So I know about 75 Fidikulube. Let's say about 200.
200?
Yeah, let's say 200 at one point.
Yeah.
I know as one distractions.
Yes.
So Nerensri came next year about la distractions more. Okay, so kamo ke like go rekipa diseradi tsa rona Lisera di kaofela tse leng mo they are user, so they're pregnant.
Okay.
So hedile so these are 3 months or these are 115 days. Hedile so. And then di tla be di tlhatsa.
Yeah.
Re di keepa mo 2 weeks before di tlo tlhatsa, and then for another 4 weeks after di tlhatsa, dikolojana tsa teng di ntse di anya. So di ba tsena ke this guy robala on top of dikolojana tsa teng.
So this is to protect them?
To protect the dikolojana, di sipiseng. Or this guy robala ke ge robala, es ka robala mo dikolojana.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I get to keep breeding stock.
Okay.
Yeah, so tshwanetse di nne size ena.
Yeah, guy excited.
Yeah, we did auctioning.
Yeah.
So auction I think we ba eko Randfontein.
Yes.
Every Wednesday ba na le auction ena. Na go ngwe bile heli di bacon. Di bacon ke selling 65 kgs. Re di sa go abattoir. So say because ke di winners, re di sa go auctioning go di rekisetsa di farmers stadium. Ba breeder.
Okay.
Ke ne ke sa itse sepe ka diphologolo. Ya no go tsena fale ke setse ke ithuta sentle ka tsone malwetsi, tlhokomelo ya tsone, go tla di auctioning, go ntlhabolotse thata.
Industry o leng ko yone batho ba ba ntsi ba tseba re e tletse banna and gape e tletse batho ba ba sweu. How have you managed when you stay grounded and we make sure you face whatever challenges come your way?
Industry ena e tletse banna but ka le boga batho ba ke berekang le bone. I mean ke bereka le ba bereki ba leng alright. Ba supporta le nna ka ba supporta, so re na team ke team effort nka ba yalo.
No re tshwere ga ntla gona mathata ra utlwana taramo ntse di le tsae ga tsebe di flop ga tsebe di etse sepe ka mpe di a go pele gore na di go tlase ke ntho ke ratang eo.
10 feet, 10 farther, 10 times 2 plane, 5 kilos for a lot. Have a look, anybody's now, ready to start me. 200 grams, 200, 200, 280, 280.
So tell me a bit more about this young lady here. That how long have you known and how long have you guys been working together in terms of?
Well, you know what? It's quite a while that I've met Koketso. She's been a customer at our auction for quite some time.
Yes.
She's just one of an example of a lot of our upcoming farmers.
Yes.
Because of our interaction with our farmers, we don't just see them here on the auction, sell their stuff and we forget about them. We actually visit them on their farming place. I gave her some advice. I tell her, let's do this, let's do that, to value add to a product. That's the main thing. We don't just sell your animal on this auction. If I don't get the best price here, I will be always to assist you to supply your animal, to send it to another place where there is a market-related price, where you will be guaranteed the best price.
10 kilos times 13. 10 times 13. There's 13 times to pay. Have a look here. What do you say? Any much now? 350. 350. 300. Thank you, Simon. 25 mark by tax square. 350. 60 number. 360. 360 number. 60. One more. 360. No more. 350. Runter can a grade times 13.
You've just sold the farikitsa how? The good one o thotse na chelete that you're expecting for tsona.
Yeah, ke gutla ke thabile ke thotse chelete nne ke expecta ba di rekile kaofela.
Yeah. Ke bone di calculator di tswa ka bona batho ba bala ka utlwa le motho auctionang are going for this much, going for that much. How does one make sure gore man aban rope man ba mfa the right price, and how do you keep up to date?
Mo auctioning ba ngwala weight ya animal. So ta kere maybe animal ke 65 kgs. Price o guide ke Farmers Weekly. Farmers Weekly enterprise ya per kg ya nama kolobe every week. So check one okay Farmers Weekly price like maybe price ke 24 rand. or you're 65 kg times 24, more calculator, and then you go for price, price yeah. So that's how you. So to do the whole more auction, we do a calculator.
Yes.
We do check a per kg amount, yeah.
All right. You know what? This was a bit different for now. I've learned a lot. Thank you very much, Ine, for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Niels.
You have got pigs, you have got sheep, and you're considering getting into beef or cattle.
Yeah.
What's your story?
Farming is often seen as an uncool industry to get into. Phela ke uphinde ukhumbula ukuthi ke lo mkhakha lona ke abantu abashaka abaningi abafundile abaneziqu zabo abawuthandisisi kahle hle lo mkhakha. Kodwa ke uKoketso omunye ke bosomabhizinisi abangene enqamashi kuona ke lo mkhakha. Phela ke Make Moves ithole ithuba lokuthi sixoxisane nomndeni wakhe simazi kabanzi futhi and find out what makes her tick.
Koketso tsaletse ko Tlhabane, o goletse ko Tlhabane before re fudugela ko Durban. Ke ngwana bobedi, o na le brother rago ile Nthabiso, then ke Lebogang.
Henne ke gola batswadi ba ka ba nghodisa ka tsela right go ke tlhomphe batho ke gole ke na le ke kokobetse ke dina le batho.
Koketso from hare bo grade 4 no still supervisor homework ya ga bona iketsisa homework.
Koketso was more like a teacher to me, if anything. We've got a bit of a big gap, 8 years. So I always knew whenever I ever had a question to ask, Koketso would be the first person I'd ask the question to, and she'd always give me a book and tell me find the answer. And she was more like a mother to me than a sister. So even now she still says I'm her product.
The one thing I can't live without, I think family, and yeah, it came by the fact that obviously the loss of my father, who loses someone really close to you, realize oh no, family important, everything else more belong, a material thing.
We've spent our entire lives together and we are very close. We talk a lot, we're very political. So because of her now, I have a very good handle on a lot of things in life.
Koketso ke motho o rata go bua.
O rata go argue na go ga batle go lose argument.
Once you get into a conversation, you can just go.
Now the way ke bona ke headstrong. The ones thing I decide to batla something. Ka se so sometimes ke khona nna be too focus more on and but wa mara ke bua too much.
I ka bua the whole day and then sometimes I want to maybe hamamele.
And she knows everything. You can't tell her anything. I remember one time I was watching TV and my older brother came and wanted to take the remote and change the channel. And then she said, hey, you're not taking the remote. And she just defended me and she got the remote back for me. And I was so happy because as much as it was a TV show, I was really young, so it meant a lot to me. She loves movies and documentaries. She loves going out and she loves running.
She's very conscious ka body ya gagwe. Wa rana.
She's a good cook.
Outside work, ke personal leng gore ke rata nna active. Ke rata nna ditšhomi tsa ka, I love being around ditšhomi tsa ka.
Ke motho o ratang monate. Good chill session, braai, o rata nama.
Like Koketso from an early age, she will always have like group 5 friends, 10 friends. We go primary school, I go in primary because they're really close to their school. O tla fitla mo gae o kere Koketso ana le 10 friends mo city room. The project of farming was started by Koketso's father. So unfortunately, he passed away in 2011.
Ke ene pila nana lerato la family. Na rata family more than anything else. Ne le nka re ne le enka ya family ya rona. So ha tlhokofala ne go le thata for rona. But e be ipulela go you know what a re batle gore re disappoint motho rona. O berekile ka thata gore a achieve dilo tsa di achieve mo phelo ba ge.
Now ya nna gore go etsagalang ka project. So Koketso was working for company where Omnicover. It's an insurance company. So she said to me, Antari, you know what, I'm going to quit. Go tlhokomela farming elker osho. So that's how she got into farming.
She's been working in our family businesses since she was 15, and she hasn't stopped working. So I know she's very driven and very hardworking, and I know that in her business, she takes a lot of that across. She takes dedication and she comes with passion. And I have no doubt that when it comes to her farming, she'll succeed.
Koketso o bereka ka thata. So la le sontaga and she needs to do things, o tla e dira.
Ke gotse ke ba bona ba bereka thata, so le nna ya tsena mo nna gore go batla go wetse sengwe mo phelong o tshwanetse o se berekele ka thata o se tsele matsapa yeah.
Koketso learned about farming at a tender age. However, it is going to take more than just years of experience to turn the business into a success. Ake sizwe ukuthi uKoketso unamaphi amasu na azomsiza ukuthi anhlonhlobalise ibhizinisi lakhe.
Ke gona ke fitla mo studio ke tlo kopana le Pepsi ke tshogile but re tla bona go tsamaya.
As a black female farmer, Koketso believes that the key to the success of her piggery business is producing the best quality pork for the South African market. Question is this enough to ensure success? Koketso, welcome to Making Moves. How are you, man?
Okay, hi, Pepsi.
Lekung primary meat producers.
Yes.
So you guys have got 100 sheep and 100 pigs.
Yes.
Is that enough to call yourself a commercial farmer, or are you still a subsistence farmer?
We are still emerging farmers. We far from the commercial guys, but everything has to start somewhere.
So you have got maize, you have got pigs, you have got sheep, and you're considering getting into beef or cattle.
Yeah.
What's your story?
So for instance, if you take the likes of your current beef, you're talking about a company that's been there for about 25 years. So when they started off, you find maybe they started off with a myriad of things.
But when do you decide that that's what I'm now going to push?
Initially, with us, how we decided that pigs was our primary focus is because we've been producing pigs since about 2009.
No, but hang on. Pigs are not your primary focus.
They are.
Yes, you've got 100 pigs, you've got 150 hectare maize farm, you've got 100 sheep. So you say pigs are your focus, but nakisheba from outside, you don't really have a focus.
They are a focus, I'll tell you why. Like within any farm, you can even go to the likes of your current beef. They've got a huge maize planting operation, maybe also planting grass as well for their cattle. So, you know, you need, as a farmer, before you can even think of keeping any animal, you need to think, how am I going to feed this animal? Once you have those things ticked and, you know, those I's dotted and those T's crossed, then you can know, okay, this is how I'm going to feed this animal. And then you move from there, then you can actually keep any animal, because mixing the feed or the various diets for the animals is fairly easy once you have that feed along with the various supplements that are offered by the different companies. So with me, as I said to you, that primarily my focus is pork production. We are already producing quality pork. I mean, at one point, we're even producing pork for the likes of your Pick n Pay in Kensington.
So why did you start this business? You've got a Bcom degree, and then you went into farming. It's a very strange choice.
My late father's the one who started with the business. So when he passed, I obviously took over that. Initially, when I started, I also didn't envision myself being a farmer. I just thought, oh, no, farming, it's not glamorous, it's not... you know, I thought all the negative things about agriculture.
This is where you are. How are you going to grow the business and increase the number of your pigs and your sheep and maybe adding cattle?
With us, it's just actually a case of just scaling up because the market is already there. You'll take the loan out on your own campus. With us, we're going to scale up using some form of funding from the loan people in terms of banks and financial institutions like that. And then where we are also using some of our own equity to secure that.
So you're raising funding right now? Yeah, we're busy with it now. We're actively raising funding. As I said to you, initially we were trying the governmental side and we gave that a go for a certain amount of period. We got some assistance, which was good. So right now, in order for us to really recapitalize to the extent that we need to go to. So Land Bank, DBSA, NEF, DTI, IDC.
Land Bank as well, they've got a problem when it comes to things like communal land, but DTI has been of assistance to us. Like our second structure that we erected for the pigs, that was part and part of 50% DTI funding. They've got a great scheme for cooperatives called the Cooperative Incentive Scheme. So we have received assistance, but it's one of those things that, in lieu of not getting government assistance, go for something else. If you really believe in your idea, which is what my dad believed in as well, hence our first structure was fully self-funded. He believed in the fact that if you really believe in something, don't, as much as government funding can come, get up by yourself and make it happen for yourself.
What time do you wake up?
It depends. If I'm planting, during the planting seasons, normally because it's a full day, so normally 5 in the morning I'm up. We have to be at the fields by 7. We start planting the whole day because when we're planting...
So Jola le Mangche, if you're now busy feeding pigs and sheep.
For now, I'm not seeing anyone, and my primary focus now is on my business.
Because you're highly inconvenient to Jola with. Now, if Jola Luena, I must drive to the farm, and I must catch you Hussein. Okay. Good luck. You better marry another farmer, otherwise you don't have a chance.
Yeah.
I think you talk a lot, and maybe don't listen enough. But this is just from the outside. But I think you're resilient, you're strong. I think you're very clever. I think you're passionate about what you do. I think you're a hard worker. And I do think you do listen in the sense that you have set up mentors and you go and you listen to people that have done this. Whether you take on their advice or not is an entirely different thing. So we're going to continue that process and introduce you to someone who is going to chat to you about your business. They're not necessarily a farming expert, but business principles are business principles.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we've heard Koketso's very, very many plans, we're going to link her up with a business coach to get her help on how to grow her top priority, which is a top quality leading South African piggery. That's her vision. So that we never run out of bacon in our homes and that she can make some bacon to bring home to the husband that you'll get one day, ne? Yeah.
No, ke ikutlwa ke itumetse after ke fetso bua le Pepsi na le thatanyana but ke nagana gore ke mo file dikarabo tse right, so ke tshepa gore interview tsamaile right.
Ask yourself a very difficult and personal question. Am I the right person to run this business?
Akhona amaswambala uKoketso anawo lawa azomsiza ukuthi ke akwazi ukukhulisa ibhizinisi lakhe. Uyabona kuma ngabe usomabhizinisi uyodinga umuntu ozokusiza ngokunikeza izingcebiso akutshele futhi ukuthi mapha amathuba ongawathatha kulomkhakha lona osebenza kuona. Yila kufika khona ko make moves othina bothina. Sikuhlanganisa ke phela ke nomqeqeshi oqavile. Ake sibone ukuthi ke ubani umqeqeshi wethu wa this week.
My name is Lucas Moloi. I am the founder of the organization called the Junto Group. The Junto Group itself was founded in about 2004, and we've been evolving around the years in that. I'm very involved with entrepreneurship in the country. As the organization also, the business is really built on the model of improving entrepreneurship in the country. And so when an entrepreneur has got a business and that, it is very difficult for them to secure a board. What we do, we then come in as the VOGA Advisory Board and we become advisory board to them. People don't do business with companies. People do businesses with other people. Innovation, innovation, innovation. If the organization is not innovative, then it is busy dying. That is one element that I need to see in every organization that I deal with. 5 years down the line, you're employing 2 people, still three permanent people. Dikulube 100, Dinku 100, and that. Why am I not seeing that growth?
The finances have stayed the same relatively. The problem is we can't supply enough. Currently now we rekisa once a month. So once we do expansion, it will allow us every week.
If we don't start the going up of the graph, then we don't have a business, then we have a job. Then we need to go on strike to get a little bit money. She's too emotionally attached to the business, which could be a good thing, but at the moment for her, it seems to be a negative thing.
If we believe in something, just keep at it, because we have to tell her the time to give up. Even at the time, even not breakthrough. So you must just keep with it and keep going at that thing.
Situation in Sarna Serelong Hosona Honajwal. Expansion planning?
Finally, it's a master plan, which is eventually to keep about 650 breeding pigs. So initially now, as our first phase of our expansion plan, which is our one that will undergo next year in April, is to move ourselves to about 350 breeding pigs. So that's overall Koketso capacity by another 250 pigs.
How much is it?
And we're looking at about 1.5 million in terms of the capitalization.
I like the plan. Plan Arona, though, it's more on the agricultural side than on the business side. The problem with cooperatives that I always have found is that cooperatives were formed for poverty alleviation. They are not run by people who want to create legacies. They're not run by people who are entrepreneurs. As a cooperative, how are you planning to raise money? Because Potatabaka is that it's going to be very difficult to raise the money because you don't have equity or leverage on the business.
How are we planning to raise our money, the cooperative? The first structure, the first structure, it was 100% self-funded.
I'm sitting and saying, is it the right structure that the business is sitting on at the moment and I don't think so. You're saying we're getting the money, but not to the extent they rebatla. Now, how an entrepreneur will need 200,000 and someone is willing to give you 100,000, but the business need 200,000 to climb to the next level. You shouldn't even take the 100,000.
Definitely,
Because what is then going to happen is that you're going to get yourself in a debt also because your expansion will not happen. So maybe restructuring a little, converting into a private entity, and that they could probably do better. Now, in the 5 years, how much have you guys put through infrastructure? Because that is the critical part of business at the moment, because you are not going to grow until that infrastructure allow to grow. How much have you channeled into that space?
We've channeled quite a bit, and in ways like, for instance, upgrading the existing infrastructure we have. So there by the farm, we've got about 2 pig buildings. So upgrading things like the existing infrastructure, in the sense that sometimes in order for us to maximize our production facility, we had to maybe subdivide some of the units. So we had to get building materials to subdivide. So we've put money towards that.
You would agree with me that as an economist, at this moment, you're not running a business. Because if for 5 years you are sitting on no growth, then there is a problem there. So I don't think they've been innovative enough, and that is what has put Koketso in this position. And until she takes those decisions that are uncomfortable and innovative, it's not going to grow. They are going to be 5 years down the line, be in the same space where they are just sustaining themselves and not growing as a business.
This 5 years, and I've met so many interesting farmers ba eleng gore have, you know, educated me, and most of them as the mentor saga.
You see, for me as an investor, you know, I'll be sitting here and fighting with you, you know, and my fight would be that I've had Chaldaka Luena for 5 years. Yeah. And in that 5 years, the Chaldaka whole. Now, that's the problem with Tolanya raise a capital or growth. They're not creative enough. They've got land, you know, they sit in there, and hopefully we grow so that we get to that stage, but the hopeful growth is not going to happen. They need infrastructure to grow. Ask yourself a very difficult and personal question. Am I the right person to run this business?
I'm the right person because, you know, I've been through a baptism of fire. So the early days, and it was difficult to keep going.
I think at this stage and that she might need someone else to come in who is a little bit less emotional about it and who can be able to take those decisions. I can doubt the passion, I can doubt the ability, but I don't find you aggressive enough to grow this business. Even if she runs the business, she needs someone stronger as the chairperson of the board who is able to come in at the board level to say to her, you know, the board feels this is what needs to happen, and that could actually assist. So I want you to sit down with a strategy, a proper plan of saying, what is it that we need to see in a year, in 2 years, and what growth prospects do we want to see? Because that is going to guide you, and it's going to push you to be aggressive enough to get that. If it's not written down, it does not exist.
Yeah, definitely.
Making Moves has a prize valued at 50,000 Rand to invest into a business. 12 young entrepreneurs will get a chance to showcase their businesses. Each entrepreneur will be given a chance to pitch for this investment to our panel of judges. The judges will use their own discretion to pick the top 4 businesses to go into our final episode where they will compete for this grand prize. You too can be part of this exciting opportunity for young entrepreneurs. Making Moves. Koketso kunjani?
No, kisiyami.
Amatshatsha amathathu akulindile ngaphakathi sekuyisikhathi sokuthi ubakhombise ukuthi wena eplazini lakho udinga ini futhi nalomkrombelo mangabe awuphumelela noma uma sibona ku top 4 uzoshintsha ini ngebusiness lakho. Are you ready?
Yeah, no, get ready for one. Yeah.
Uphethe ini, uprepare ini?
No, ke tlo bua fela yeah, ke tlo bua from the heart.
No presentation?
Yeah, I don't have slides, but I'll speak from the heart.
Okay. But lokho kuzoba enough ukuba convince ama judges wethu.
I hope it will be enough. Yeah.
Hayi lungileke. Wena ukwazi kabanzi ke iplaza lakho na konke okudingakala kulona. So xoxa umqede.
Thank you.
Shona khona ke nkosazana bakulindile. Bathi mawuye empini uyaphambili ukuyemuva akusekho. Thokazi shona khona bakulindile ama judge amathathu. All the best.
Koketso, dumela mme ho jwang?
Ke teng tate.
Sharp. Welcome to Making Moves.
Okay.
That was a good start to Mpizan Tate. It's already 20 points. So yeah. You've got 4 minutes to pitch your business to us. Okay. My fellow judges, Lucas, you've met. You got an opportunity to spend a bit of time with him. Yes. And you have got Martine over on the left. She's the lady that you most have to convince. Yeah. She's the money lady. And your 4 minutes starts now.
Okay. Firstly, judges, I'd like to say I'm a passionate farmer. My farming business focuses mainly on pigs and sheep. For me, looking for funding, I'm going to focus particularly on the sheep side. Why I want to get the funding for the sheep side is that I'm still building up my sheep. So my end goal is actually to be a commercial sheep farmer. So I'm still building up my stud. So with the money that I get, if I do win, I would like to use it to purchase additional stock and perhaps put a structure where during the summertime the sheep can sit be underneath the structure. With the funding, it would really help me as an emerging farmer to leapfrog to that next step of becoming a commercial farmer. In terms of sheep, just to give you an idea, I've got about 80 sheep, so I would use the money to purchase about 20 sheep and then put a structure for my sheep. And then my goal for next year is to take this 100 sheep that I have and double them, and then by the end of 2016 have 200 sheep, and then by the end of 2017 have 300 sheep. So the most sheep that I'll keep is about 300 sheep. With sheep farming, you can focus on many things, including selling the wool to wool growers. So the type of sheep that I breed, we normally share the wool and then we sell them to the neighboring farm. But when I get to 300 sheep, we'll immediately export the wool, like basically transport it to PE and then have it exported to other markets. So there's the meat side of it, and then there's also the wool side of it. It will allow us to basically be more involved into the textile side of the South African market, which has got a lot of room for growth, particularly within the SADC area, because a lot of fashion designers are demanding wool garments and stuff. So the sheep side of the business, if we push that to grow, it will be one of those things where, as farmers, there are not many people who are actually within the sheep industry. So we will be pushing that side of the business.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've got a minute and a half. I think there's all sorts of other components to the business that you're not telling us
just
about.
To give you an example, our business, the other components to my business, which is our core business, is the piggery side. So we have pigs that we've been keeping, and the end goal with that is also to become a commercial pig producer. But why I'm particularly pitching for sheep now instead of pigs is because the capital expenditure for pigs is slightly higher. So the money will be better, efficiently more used towards the sheep side as opposed to on the pig side. I'm also planting maize, yellow maize, for the sheep as some of the feed for the sheep and for the pigs. So I'm also planting about 150 hectares of yellow maize, and my goal on that side is also to continue to increase that so that it brings down the overall production costs of my business. Because once you can feed your animals, and you can, basically it allows you to keep as many animals as you want once you're able to actually feed them. So the other thing is that where we are based as well, our farm is based on a 30-hectare piece. We've got fencing, we've got infrastructure erected, we've got water available, we've got electricity available. So in terms of actually the basic infrastructure, we already have that sorted. It's just basically to just focus on the sheep side and continue to increase that. Yeah.
Thank you very, very much. That was an awesome presentation.
Okay, thank you so much.
It's question time.
Yes.
50,000 gets you roughly 20 or so sheep, is that right?
The price of a sheep is about 1,500 rands. So it will give me the 20 sheep that I need, but it will also allow me to put up the structure, which is about another 15,000. Just a basic corrugated structure so that during the summertime, because sheep get this condition, it's called sun scare. So when they're out in the sun, the sun basically kind of almost like damages their eyes slightly. So during the day, especially during the hot summer months, it's good for them to have a place where they can just go underneath the shade and just sit and just have access to water there, which already we have it in the yard, and also obviously have the feed that's open there as well.
Lucas, any questions?
I'm surprised you didn't bring you some pork chops.
Yeah, she didn't bring many pork chops.
With the money that you get now, what is it that you're going to do different from the 5 years that didn't give you that growth?
The idea now is basically to just focus this on the sheep side and push that to being a commercial concern. So you will see that growth where you will see, I mean, if now, for instance, I get my 100 sheep, the next time you come, this time next year, you'll see 200 sheep. So that in itself will be growth.
How does that translate into rands and cents, Koketso?
Into rands and cents, the demand for mutton is quite high. In South Africa currently now, they're actually importing mutton because they cannot meet the demand. So once we are able to, have that producing quality of being able to produce those numbers, having the 300 sheep as our baseline for our producing stock, and then whatever we get, we raise and we sell, we'll be able to even actually export our meat to other markets as well, perhaps even within the SADC area.
Is the farm making money?
Right now, in terms of the sheep side, it's not, because we're still building up our stock, our breeding stock.
Are the pigs making money?
The pigs are making money because we've been selling and transacting in terms of the pigs for a very long time.
Is the maize making money?
The maize is making money as well, because I harvested recently now in July. So I'm just waiting for the market to be, for the price to be high. Then the idea is for me to sell my maize at the beginning of October.
If you're projecting financial year end now, February 2016.
Yeah, like what is my turnover?
What's your turnover going to be for the farm as a whole?
On average with us, every year we turn over about 200,000 rands.
So about 200,000?
Yeah, about 200,000, yeah.
And then what's your profit going to be on that?
Now, because we're not selling regularly enough, so we're not getting as much profit coming in.
How are you going to really turn this around? Because if you don't turn this around, you're going to have to close it because it's not making money.
We strongly believe that it can be turned around. And the thing is that we already have established markets who are demanding our products. So it's not like it's a business that still needs to establish markets and establish buyers. We already have those in place.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll deliberate and come back to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks. Ke kutla ke le monate ne ke tshogilenyana ke tlo bua le di-judges mare ka go tsamaile right as ne bantse ba bua ba re di-finances ka re ke mathatanyana, but I mean re sometimes re imagine and we've got a strategy gore ka turn a business yang around, and this is where cash price and I can ka re thusa gore turn everything around if re thola.
You want to run a business that's turning 2-3 million rand a month?
Definitely.
Go ask for 30-40 million. All right, guys, so we've heard Koketso's presentation. Martine, what do you think?
For me, she's made an impression on me, Pepsi. The girl knows what she's talking about. She's done her homework. I was very impressed.
Okay. Lucas?
I don't know if it's because she's uncomfortable with the space that the business is at the moment, the fact that she knows that she should have been making money and she's not. Maybe that's why she doesn't touch on the numbers. As an economist, she knows that. She knows the business. I feel somehow that she's very emotional on the business and that. And things are not happening because she doesn't want to step on the toes of some of the cooperative members as well.
You think so?
I think so. I think it's putting in a difficult position that the business was run by her father with the partners that are there. Now she's the one that is standing there and she's trying not to be a bad person.
I think she's realized her shortcomings.
Yeah.
It comes through very strong, that she's realized her shortcomings. You can hear it on the way that she pitches. She says to you, this is where we're going, this is why we're going there. Yes, she might have made mistakes in the past, but we need to realize she's an economist and she's come into a brand new environment. I think personally, the fact that she's broke even for the 5 years is a good sign for me.
So every business or every division that she's in of this family, she's got someone that is mentoring her that has been doing it. So she's a person that is passionate about learning and who's not afraid to ask questions. And that is what an entrepreneur needs.
That's key.
Okay, let's call her back in.
Sis Koketso, bakulindile ngaphathi nomphumela wakho ama-judges wethu. What do you think the outcome would be?
Ke nagana outcome e tlo ba positive because ke wile ka the farm, so ke hopa gore e tsamaya my way. Yeah.
You know, earlier on before ungene your picture, ke buzile ukuthi uphetheni wathi hayi uphelele.
Maybe if ne ke tlo etsa gape ne tlo tla mo ka spreadsheets a di numbers because the mantse ba mpotsa ka di numbers, so yeah, if ne ke tlo etsa again ne tlo tla ka the spreadsheet a di numbers.
Bakulindile.
Okay.
Hayi sekuyisikhathi sakhona ukuthi sizwe ukuthi kuhambe kanjani ke kulo sisi lo. Bake basho bathi judgment day namhlanje usuku lamaqiniso. Uyasijoyina nawo Koketso kwi top 4 noma uye ekhaya.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? How do you think you did?
I'm feeling confident, and I hope I did well.
You're very emotional about the business, and that it's not necessarily a bad thing, but you need to manage it.
I can see the research, the passion, your day-to-day involvement. It's evident. Keep it up.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay, so we've got 3 tasks for you that you need to go and look at. The first one is, have you got a robust business plan?
Yes, I
with
do.
Proper projections?
Yeah, I do.
Because every time I ask you about numbers, I get this many sheep, and then they were with pigs, and then I got so confused between the pigs and the sheep and what was happening where. But I'd like you to come back at some point and present to us a proper, solid business plan with projections, hopefully put together by someone that is not into farming. Because take away the emotion, take away the sheep and the pigs and everything else, and look at it as pure numbers, right? That's what I'd like to see. Definitely. The second thing is, I don't believe you've exhausted all your funding options. I think when you speak about government, you've spoken about local government, you've spoken about provincial government. I'm talking straight funding institutions, whether it be the DTI, the NEF. You're an emerging farmer. If your numbers are what you say they are and the business makes sense, there's no reason why you shouldn't be getting money.
DTI has assisted us, so I suppose we could always go back and knock on their door, which is
but you've tapped into these emerging farmer funds that are not too small. Too small. You haven't gone in there and said, I need 30 million to get this thing going. So I think your approach in terms of the funding is not robust enough, and you're going in there scared. You want to run a business that's turning 2-3 million rand a month. Go ask for 30-40 million. If you've got the numbers to justify and prove it, that shouldn't be a problem. So there's the business plan with the projections. We'd like to see that. We would like to see, or have you come back with a legal opinion and a plan of how you can dump the dead weight that is holding you back. And then last but not least, go look at the funding and stop being a wimp. Okay. But the good news is we'd love you back, and you have those tasks to do, and you'll come back in a few weeks, report back, and I hope we give you money.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well done.
Thanks.
Well done.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
She's through.